Traumatic brain injury, a significant case to be made. Although there is an unreasonably high prevalence of brain injury in the United States, it is widely misunderstood, misdiagnosed, and left untreated. Professionals hyper-focus on the acquired traits rather than assessing the individual on the whole. Each traumatic brain injury case is different, and that may be the primary reason why TBI is so difficult to evaluate. The stigma associated with TBI makes individuals wary of seeking help or even to acknowledge it, furthermore providing neglect to the lack of inquiry. TBI involves damage to the brain, usually from an external blow. Injuries can include damage to nerve fibers, intracranial hypertension, hypoxia, anemia, metabolic abnormalities, hydrocephalus, and subcranial hemorrhage. Brain injury is split up into three distinct categories: mild, moderate, and severe. Mild is considered external trauma to the brain involving disorientation, confusion, or a loss of consciousness for 30 minutes or less. Post-traumatic amnesia is believed to last for less than 24 hours. Moderate TBI, on the other hand, is a loss of consciousness between 30 minutes and 24 hours. Post-traumatic amnesia is said to last between 1 and 7 days. The most damaging of the three, severe TBI, includes a more extended loss of consciousness, as well as post-traumatic amnesia that typically results in severe cognitive impairments. Now, how does traumatic brain injury affect daily living? Before us, we have a brain with the several different sections of the brain: frontal, parietal, occipital, temporal, cerebellum, and the brainstem. Now, they all have their various functions as listed above. When it comes to TBI, the deficits that are incurred with frontal lobe is a lack of focus, irritability, which usually has behavioral issues, language difficulty, so you can have things such as aphasia where you cannot come up with the words, you cannot think of them, or maybe you can, but you just cannot speak them. They can't come out. Another thing that I would note is the lack of focus can be confused with memory impairments. That is typical with frontal lobe damage. Parietal, difficulty reading and spatial misperception. Occipital is more with the vision, blind spots, blurred vision. Temporal, problems with short-term and long-term damage. Now, those tend to be the more severe cases of traumatic brain injury with the temporal lobe. Cerebellum, difficulty walking, slurred speech. I've noticed it to be more of people that are paralyzed when they have damage to the cerebellum. And the brainstem, obviously that is tremendously severe because it can alter your breathing and you can have also difficulty swallowing, among other things. All right, so the most profound effect of traumatic brain injury would probably be the realization that you are no longer your old self. You are a new self, in a sense. And it's also an acknowledgement of the faculties that you lost, the cognitive, behavioral, the physical. It's a lot to take in at first. And it's a lot to, it's a heavy realization. It can spur survivors of TBI into deep depression, anxiety. They're in these situations where they're trying to relearn how to live life, but in this new way, because it's a new life for them. It's a new life for these survivors after brain injury. And that probably is the most profound effect, aside from the cognitive, behavioral, and physical.